Hey there, South Mississippi. This is Meteorologist Aaron Colby. Let's talk about the forecast for the rest of today, and let's take a peek at what's coming up next week. Now, that cold front has arrived, and the storms have moved on out of South Mississippi as of early this morning. And, well, temperatures are definitely much cooler than they were yesterday. It's very noticeable if you're outdoors, and it's definitely pretty breezy still. Breezy winds coming out of the northwest. But here's the IP Casino camera over in Biloxi right now. You can see there, mostly clear skies. It's really a nice day out there. Here's where those storms are now. You can see as of about 8:40 a.m. They are continuing to move across portions of Georgia and the Carolinas. They're a lot weaker now, but you can see pretty clearly here on our storm reports that it has left a path of, well, a lot of wind damage. Every single one of those is a wind damage report, except for that one in central Georgia. It looks like we do have one hail report. But you can see that's what we were talking about. So, of course, in the days leading up to this event, we continued to talk about how the wind was going to be the primary threat with this. And you can absolutely see that did, in fact, happen. However, it looks like here in South Mississippi, we have once again been spared from these systems. It looks like no damage reports have come in for anywhere here in South Mississippi. If you do see damage, you can go ahead, if it's safe to do so, send us some pictures on the WLOX First Alert Weather app. That way we can go ahead and we can report it to the National Weather Service, and that way we can get that on the map. Now, let's talk about those temperatures for today. Things are, well, significantly cooler than the past couple of days. You can see here most of the coast right at 60 degrees right now. Further inland in about the mid to upper 50s. And, well, some of us may struggle to get into those 60s this afternoon. Winds coming out of the northwest ushering in that much cooler air. And, of course, mostly sunny skies, well, could allow some of us, especially on the coast, to maybe hit at least those lower 60s by this afternoon. Another thing is definitely it's going to be very breezy. You can see here Hancock-Whitney camera in Gulfport, also mostly sunny there as well. Temperature at the Gulfport airport right now is 59 degrees, and once again that northwest wind about 13 miles per hour could get a little gusty, especially through the midday hours. Humidity is on its way back down. You can see that dew point still in about the mid to lower 50s right now, but definitely on its way down now that that cold front has moved on through. Here's that temperature forecast for today, a high of about 62 if you're on the coast. Inland, likely to be a little bit lower than that, of course, especially inland areas. We're likely going to struggle to get out of those 50s as we move into the rest of the day. Once again, it's going to be pretty breezy as well. Not as breezy as we saw yesterday, but of course winds coming out of the northwest are definitely going to be possible, and we could definitely see the potential for gusts around 20 miles per hour, maybe a little bit higher than that, especially closer to the coast. But as we go through the rest of the day, it looks like this is likely to relax back down. You can see by the afternoon, winds back in the teens, gusting to around 20 miles per hour still. But you head even later into the afternoon and early evening hours, you can see those wind gusts continuing to relax down into right around 20 miles per hour, or maybe even into the teens by this point. Later into tonight, you can see even single digits starting to show up, especially for our inland areas. Offshore and coastal areas could still be fairly gusty all the way through tomorrow morning. Let's take a sneak peek at the rest of the week as well. You can see here our next system does approach by the time we get to about early Wednesday morning. And you can see it's a much slower moving system with a lot more rain with it. So with this, we could see the potential for maybe at least a little bit of flooding come Wednesday morning. We'll have to keep a close eye on that. Of course, heavier rain moving much slower than it did yesterday could lead to localized flooding or flash flooding, especially along our rivers. So that's something to keep an eye out as we head into the rest of the week. We'll be keeping a close eye on that forecast over the next couple of days. Another big thing to keep an eye on is, well, another big rush of cold air coming in right behind that system. You can see, especially in parts of Texas and Oklahoma, that strong wind coming out of the north, that could really usher in another set of cold air here to the coast. And, well, it looks like winter could return as we head later into the week. Here's what that looks like. Here's your morning temperatures for the next several days. Of course, Wednesday much warmer with more cloud cover and rain approaching the area. Another thing to note, tomorrow, very cold as well. Many of us could be waking up in the upper 30s tomorrow morning, Monday morning. Of course, Tuesday, a little bit warmer. Wednesday, rain and cloud cover keeps us much warmer, especially during those early morning hours. But following Wednesday's system, we could start to see another big cool down here on the coast. Light freeze is going to be possible, especially if you're further inland. You have that higher chance of seeing those low 30s or possibly even below 32. But as you head into Friday and Saturday, chances of that start to go down. However, if you're closer to the coast, we could be waking up in the mids to low 30s Thursday through Saturday morning. By Sunday, things do start to warm back up, but that's still fairly cold. You can see 46 degrees expected for next Sunday morning. Another cool thing coming up, we're just about a week away from the Grand Alignment, a fairly rare event in the night sky. All 7 planets will be visible in the night sky for multiple days, so even if some of these days are cloudy, well, we might have a pretty good chance of at least seeing them on at least one of these days. Of course, February 23rd through the 28th. Of course, Mercury and Saturn will start to dip back below the horizon by March 1st. So you want to try and get a good look at all 7 planets. You're going to have to do so before February 28th. Of course, now you can see here in a different text shade, I do have Uranus and Neptune. Those are going to be much harder to see with the naked eye. They're much further away, and that deep blue color will blend in much closer to the night sky. So it may require a telescope or a high-powered camera to even see those 2 planets. But the rest of them will be visible to the naked eye. As a matter of fact, most of them already visible in the night sky, especially Venus, typically just above the sun when it sets. That one is one of the easiest ones to spot in the night sky. But of course, just wait about a week and you might be able to see all 7. Let's take a look at that 7-day forecast. Things are looking pretty good over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, waking up very cold, potentially all the way down into the 30s across most of South Mississippi. You can also see by Tuesday a little bit of a warm-up, back up in the 60s Tuesday afternoon. Rain chances really do start to pick up by Tuesday night. And then we get to Wednesday morning, could be pretty rainy, but of course, once again, a big cool down coming in right behind that system. We could be waking up in the 30s for multiple days, especially towards the end of the week. And look at that, afternoon temperatures by the time we get to Thursday and Friday, they're going to be in those lower 50s. So of course, just be sure to take those cold weather precautions. They maybe have to come back towards the end of the week. Once again, light freeze possible mainly Thursday and Friday morning.